to Veracruz after this speech, maybe there'll be more hands being raised when we ask the same question next time. Thank you, Ernesto. So a few announcements. The food trucks are only getting cash. We are trying to figure out if there's another way, but not yet. There's no solution. So please be aware of that. And don't forget that after our next speech, we are going to be taking the group photo here. So don't leave, please. Okay. We need everybody here. So our next speaker is not here. He couldn't make it, unfortunately. So, but he's going to be joining us virtually. So Diego Méndez from Bolivia. Diego is currently a PhD candidate at the Universidad Autónoma de Madrid in España. He graduated from the Universidad Mayor de San Simón and has been studying raptors since 2011. He led the latest population estimates of the Andean condor in Bolivia and is advising the planning of the first national census, as well as the first tagging of condors with GPS transmitters. Diego was a conservation science trainee in 2015. And during his traineeship, he developed a project to maintain and update a database of Bolivian raptor records with a community science approach. So is Diego connected? Oh, I see him. Hi, Diego. Very much welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
It's so sad you're not here, but it's so
It is, but what can I do?
yeah. Okay, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be part of this great activity. And first of all, I want to thank Hawk Mountain for organizing this symposium and for keeping our big family together and active. So I will share my screen now. Can you confirm, please, if you are seeing my presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you
Thank you.
presenter view?
Okay.
At the bottom right, near the zoom in and zoom out.
One second. Can you see where am I trying to click now?
No.
No.
Did you see where the comments are at the bottom right? If you go over to the little screen, if you click that, it'll go in presenter mode.
Now?
Perfecto.
Great. Okay. So, yeah. Many thanks for the introduction, Ana. I am from Bolivia, as you said, and I will try to give you a South American perspective of being a raptor researcher and conservationist. And my presentation will flow more or less in this way. First, I want to make some reflections on how South American raptor researchers arise or born or yeah come to be. Then I will talk about a little bit of my experience, mostly with the Andean condor, and I thought it was important to look forward based on what I and my colleagues and friends and fellow Raptor researchers have done so far. So Raptors, right? You can't ignore them either because of their size, because of their speed, of their strength. There you can see two famous examples of South American raptors, the Andean condor on the left and the harpy eagle on the right. So my point is, in this world, to not be ignored is to be powerful. And raptors are powerful birds that they are not only powerful by themselves, but they can confer us their power to do our jobs. So this is very, very important because is that feelings towards raptors are very ancient. This happens, I can say, from the very origin of mankind. We have looked at the skies in the day, in the night, and saw raptors as simply attractive beings that we can't ignore them, as I said. And yeah, once you are hooked on raptors and you say, okay, I want to study them and I want to know more about them, and obviously I want to conserve them, I think there are two ways, two roads that you can follow, and that figure you are seeing is a very important crossroads in a raptor researcher career. So you either before you start your career, you either are certain what you are going to find on your way, or you think you know, right? And this is very important, as I said, because you think you know what is to be a raptor researcher when you follow those great guys on the right of the screen, because you see, and obviously many guys from my generation grew up watching those TV series and just admiring raptors, right? How an eagle hunts, how a vulture flies, and everything. And that is only part of the story. And to really know what you are going to find in your way, you have to go deeper, right? You have to read all the technical stuff, and you have to understand all those numbers and all those figures that are going to be with you throughout your career. And most importantly, you have to talk to people, you have to talk to mentors, and you will know from their experience what is to actually be a raptor researcher. So this is a big message from my part, and let's think about this question as the ultimate filter for raptor researchers here. And so we know we love raptors, but what are we going to do next, right? We have to we are raptor biologists or researchers, yes, a very special group of people, but not different from other people, and we need to survive. So this question is a very important filter that usually we don't ask ourselves, or we are just in awe and just love raptors, as I said, and we forget this important thing. And the answer, it's difficult to swallow, but it's the stark truth. I mean, it's not that in here you go to a job searching platform or open the newspaper and you find 5 Raptor researchers needed in Argentina or 3 Raptor researchers needed in Peru. No, it's not like that. But again, my personal message here: if we are convinced that what we do is essential, is fundamental to conserve biodiversity and our planet, and okay, we acknowledge that we may go hungry now and then, but if we have that determination and if we are convinced of how important it is what we do, we are going to stay on the right track. So for us as Raptor researchers, let us not forget to always tell the new people, the people who is coming, always tell them the 2 sides of the medal. You have huge satisfaction and your work is really important, but maybe you have to fight harder to survive like anybody else here for doing what you love. But that's my first important message. So yeah, now I will talk more about the research we have been doing on the Andean condor, and the nice thing about this species is that it has allowed me to work with very good friends from almost all the continent, because the Andes, of course, is like the backbone of South America. That is the first time I did field work with the Andean condor, and since that moment, that's the very first picture I took of condors doing field work, and from that moment I knew it was going to be special, because there you can see almost 70 condors in a single place. They were feeding on a carcass, and that was 2012. And think about that in that year, we knew that the whole Andean condor population in Colombia or in Ecuador was around 100 condors per country. And in a single spot in Bolivia, I was watching almost the entire population of those countries. So I thought, they told me I was going to study a threatened species. What is happening here? So yeah, I knew it was going to be very special. As I said at the beginning, the raptors, you can't ignore them, and the Andean condor is probably the greatest example of an symbolic bird or animal anywhere. Yeah, it's very well represented in Andean cultures, always like a godlike bird, and in the middle of the screen you can see the highest award that can be awarded here in Bolivia. It's called the Condor de los Andes, the Andean condor. So you can relate the importance of this bird for people here. I already mentioned this. Its distribution is quite large, from the southernmost tip of the continent to the very north part in the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta in Colombia. So yeah, 7 countries. Its distribution spans 7 countries. And of course, it's a threatened species that was categorized as vulnerable of extinction 4 years ago, because sadly its population is going down, it's declining. And the Andean condor is intrinsically vulnerable because of many reasons. One of them is that they reproduce really slow. Normally, they reproduce every 2 years. So any mortality event that will occur will have severe consequences for their populations. They can't recover fast from mortality events. That's the thing with condors. They move a lot. This is a picture of the border between Bolivia and Peru, and yeah, the condors can cross borders like every day, and this is important because people live in different ways. People have different ways of seeing life in different countries, and yeah, you can have countries like Bolivia or Peru, where it is very difficult for people to shoot a condor, but in other countries like Ecuador, maybe, or Colombia, it's more common, etc. So that's an important factor in condor conservation. And you can see in that map of a very nice review that threats are not evenly distributed in the Andes, threats for the Andean condor. But at this point, okay, we know the Andean condor is very threatened. It's declining, and we know what the threats for this species are. So the species is still its population is still going down, and we are keep doing this very good research, but that's not the main goal. The goal is to stop condor decline. So yeah, it was the time to take the bull by the horns, as the saying says, and let's think beyond academia and beyond this research, and let's go and see who has to do what to hold this population decline of the Andean condor. And we gathered 20 or 30 Andean condor specialists, and we said, okay, let's answer those questions, and we need to propose actions, but we need to also say who is responsible of carrying out those actions. So yeah, I will show you this work in progress, and it's a collaborative work that involves people from all those 7 countries where the Andean condor occurs. And yeah, these are the questions we want to answer. And first, we already saw that map about the threats to this species, and it is important to see here that, yeah, indeed, threats are not evenly distributed. For example, shooting is common to all countries, all Andean countries, but artificial food provisioning, for example, here is a threat that only takes place in Peru. A similar chart here. Look at poisoning. Only Venezuela is free of poisoning, but that is because Andean condors distribution in that country is very small, because we are getting to poisoning because it's very important. So this 20 or 30 people, we proposed 138 actions to conserve the Andean condor, and what we wanted to see in this kind of figure was precisely something like this, something very colorful, because we have to face and address those threats from a very diverse perspective, and also address all the threats involved. That's the important thing here. A very colorful figure was what we needed and what we wanted. Very similar here. What actions are going to solve the threats, or will try to solve the threats in the field, most of them. You can see gray is the dominant color, but we also want to assess how these actions are working. This is, I would say, a first for Andean condor conservation. Normally, we have been doing some actions, but we did not follow the results. Now we are going to do that. Another figure, very important, and here I want you to focus on the dominant color, of course, and it's this brown color. And here, what we are seeing here is that public administration, governments, have a lot to do for the Andean condor. Without their participation, we are not going to succeed, and that's what we specialists think, right? This is very, very important, a very important result of our work. Another important result, what is the dominant color here? It's red, and here, what we are seeing here is that we specialists consider that multinational actions are the most important, are priority actions. And you saw, I showed you several slides where you can see that condors move a lot, that condors distribution is huge. So it's obvious we have to take the next step and start thinking big in a big scale, in a big territorial scale. So there you go. Multinational actions are priority. And yes, most of actions, most threats can be solved with few actions. That's another straightforward result. The most complex threats, like poisoning, need many actions to be solved. In general, that's what we are seeing here. And now let us talk about two very important threats, probably the most important or the most severe threats here in Bolivia, at least, or in general in the case of poisoning. So in the bottom of the screen, you can see the title of a publication we made, and it was quite a story, because when this publication was in press, we had a very sad event here in Bolivia, where 34 Andean condors got killed, got poisoned. So yeah, I had to change to add one some lines in that publication, and yeah, the publication warned that that could happen. We were saying that in Bolivia we can have so many condors gathered in a single place that even 1% of the population, which is 6,700 individuals, that's the estimate. So 1% of that population could die, and yeah, it happened. It was extremely sad. But yeah, and you will see in the next slides why this case was so important to me to like to make a bigger figure of conservation from now on, or from that moment on. So poisoning mechanism is really straightforward to understand. People poison a carcass, and scavengers like the Andean condor got killed. It's just like that. That is the mechanism and of that threat. The source is that people think that poisoning carcasses to kill maybe livestock predators is a good idea. It's the opposite, because they pollute the environment, and of course they kill animals that are not harmful for them. But the underlying cause of poisoning is that we saw public administration is not doing all what they have to do. They have to answer people's concerns about losing their livestock to pumas, to dogs. So that is the problem, right? We saw it, public administration, and we can use another example of the threat of domestic dogs in South America. There is a growing population of domestic dogs, maybe close to 100 million dogs. So yeah, it's a big thing. The mechanism is that dogs can outcompete condors from their food, from carcasses. And the problem is that, or the source of that threat is that people allow dogs to reach carcasses. Dogs should be indoors, and but dog keeping is what causes that they can interact with condors. Again, lack of education, lack of law enforcement, of a poor dog keeping that is a responsibility of public administrations is the underlying cause. So the conclusions for now of this work is that it was great. It is really great to work side by side with our friends, with our colleagues, but we have to see beyond, and yeah, we have to go to our authorities and say, okay, we as Bolivia, as the country, need to work with Peru as the country, not just specialists from this country with the specialists of the other country. No, we have to do it at the country level, and we don't have to lose too much time like in the details. So yeah, with that, I finished the second part of my talk. The third part is shorter, but it has important message. So this first lesson is that is a very, very, very important one, and it's a lesson that everyone who goes to Hawk Mountain knows it, and I know you have this this figure very deep in the work you do, because there we learn how to collaborate. That is very easy to learn, and it's very easy to know the importance of collaboration. And what about competitiveness? It's a little bit harder to understand how to compete and collaborate at the same time. And I think that is because we give too much importance to competitiveness in academia. So no, we have to stop. We have to evaluate and make a better balance between what we do in the field, what we do when we go to talk to stakeholders and authorities, and when we have real conservation results, and not only great research. Don't take me wrong. We have to research, but we have to make a better balance. It's not going to have anything. It's going to happen if we publish less. That is one lesson. And it's important because who actually reads our papers? I think we have to break this bubble, because yeah, it must not be a bubble. We do great work, great research, but who reads it? We have to put that research to work. Why is that? Because we have a wealth of knowledge, and yeah, let us not focus in the number of papers, but let us look at what we can do with what we have. I told you, while I had a paper in press, a big conservation issue happened. So that is my point. And this is an unpopular opinion. I know it's very unpopular, but it needs to be said, right? Again, my message, my big lesson is, let's make a better balance between what we do in the field, what we do, what actions we take, and what research we do. Yeah, and again, we have to when we have to speak in a light terms, when we have to speak with the guy that lives in the countryside and has the last word on poisoning a carcass or no, we are not going to approach him with a paper, with a great paper, a science paper. And no, we have to better think how we are going to talk. The same when we want to talk with a stakeholder and authority, we are not going to approach them with a paper. We have to be more intelligent and convince them of why it's important to focus in raptors, to give resources to raptors, to not poison that carcass. And yes, let us work to let's look to work side by side with all interested parties. It's not only us researchers, it's everyone. We saw that while working with the Andean condor. And yeah, a little victory. This is the last slide. So a little victory that I want to share with you. Since November last year, we have a new law, national law here in Bolivia, that by which poisoning has now prison penalties that can be unappellable prison penalties. So it's a small victory, but we are moving forward. It's I don't know of any other country that has a law that punishes poisoning. So it's big news. We also have a National Andean Condor Day, February the 4th each year. So yeah, in the end, we always see good results. So thank you very much. Thank you all, and cheers to the next 90 years of Hawk Mountain, because as someone of you said, it's a life-changing experience that cause changes around the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diego. And point of housekeeping for those with questions, just make sure you speak directly into the mic so the folks online can hear. I'll kick us off. Diego, I'm curious with the public outreach, how successful have you guys been with engaging the local stakeholders, and are there any common themes that keep cropping up, ways of establishing that connection?
I would say that we succeeded on that because we have an action plan for the species conservation that is very inclusive. Before this action plan, local people, local stakeholders were like only outsiders, I could say, but now they are involved in every action we do for the Andean condor. I think we succeeded in that matter.
Any other questions out here in the amphitheater?
Great talk. Do you want to just mention a little event that's happening next year in Bolivia, that Andean conservation?
I couldn't hear the question. Could you type it perhaps in the chat?
Keith is wondering about an upcoming event next year in Bolivia for condors.
Oh yes, thank you, Keith, for that question. And yes, I'm very excited to confirm that March the next year we will have the fifth International Andean Condor Congress here in Bolivia, but also the first Vultures of the Americas symposium. So I really hope many of you, all of you, can be here. It's going to be a very important event. So yeah, thank you, Keith. It's important to highlight that.
Hi, Diego. Marilyn here. I've got a question. I suppose it's on the multinational level, where there's been like negative sort of cultural relationships with condors. How have the researchers or conservationists dealt with it with Indian condors? I forget the country now, but I know there is a country with a festival where they, capture, and these festivals happen in different areas, in the Andes where the condor is captured. And I know globally people will look at it from a very animal welfare place. But to those people, it's something actually important to their culture. They feel it's something that shows the appreciation of the birds. But for the size and the numbers of the birds, it's actually terrible. So have there been any approaches to dealing with that culture and maybe moving it to a less harmful form, for at least in this day and age?
Yeah, that's a very important topic because yeah, on one side you have to defend the culture. Of course, you have to keep the culture alive, and on the other side you have to protect the condor. So two things. The first is that fortunately these kind of festivals and cultural folklore is localized. Only a handful of places in Peru and maybe in Bolivia do that, right? Use the condor for a festival or things like that. And I believe that now regulations and law are more in favor of the Andean condor. It's illegal to catch them almost anywhere. And the other thing, or the only answer I can give to that is that people has to be educated and understand that, of course, we respect condors, but they are most valuable in the sky than on the back of a bull. Yeah, only talk to them, educate them, and there is no other way. We have to educate people, educate ourselves. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Diego. Fantastic talk.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Diego. It was very nice to see you, but you'll be coming in the next time, right? Please.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you.
That were God for you, so you have to come one of these days. All right.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. So I just got some good news is the food trucks are now capable of getting your credit cards. So, oh, only the burger. So okay, we can eat. So thanks everybody. We are now going to have our lunch. I know our photo first. It's first the photo right here. So my guess is that we are just going to be like standing right here in front, so not everybody steps on this arrangement with tables and everything. So can you just come over to the front and let's take a photo, and then we will be coming back here at 2:00 for starting over. So if you guys can just be here 5 minutes before. And
Ursula is rubbing off in our faces that she's at the beach.